What's up, everybody? Welcome to planet-Pepe. It's hot out here today. Let me just say right off the bat, before I get into the topic about the Pied Piper, thank you to all. I had for the longest time 4 subscribers, and I was always appreciative of that. And recently, like pretty much overnight, it jumped to like 10. So I have like a couple new subscribers. So welcome to planet-Pepe. Thanks for all who listen, watch on behalf of Stormcloud and myself. Really appreciate it. And so yeah, population 10 now on planet-Pepe. Well, 12 if you count me and Stormcloud. But yeah, so you're always welcome on my planet. Anyway, let's talk about the Pied Piper here. It's a weird story because he almost has, it's this guy from the Middle Ages who had apparently like a magical, I guess we'll call it a flute. I'm not sure if that's like the exact instrument that he used, but like, like a kind of thing. And it's from Germany, I think, from like the 1200s. So it's like, we're talking like literally we're talking the Middle Ages here. And he's almost kind of seen, or the way I take it's like folklore. It's almost like a Merlin type character. Like he's got like a little, like not magic, but what's the word? Like I forget the word. I guess I'll use magic for like he was like magical in some odd way, and he would just go around playing his flute all over town, and apparently the townspeople recognized this, and there was like a big rat infestation, so they hired the Pied Piper to I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but anyway, they hired the Pied Piper to get the rats out of, I guess, their neighborhood or their town, and he did. Apparently he did. Apparently he played the flute the whole way and marched them. Basically was like an exterminator in the 1200s. But people thought it was magical. There's a couple parlor tricks you could do. I'm sure this guy existed at least. I don't think he had a magical flute or anything like that. It's kind of a cool story, don't get me wrong, but he probably just had a bunch of cheese in his back pocket, and just played the flute, and the rats followed him because of the cheese or something. That could be like a cheap parlor trick, and you could just say like, oh, it was because of my magic flute or something like that. But apparently, okay, so the story gets really dark though. So apparently he did all this work, and the town didn't pay him. Like they commissioned him to do this, and they didn't pay him. So what he did was, apparently, again, as the folklore goes, and there's a couple different versions of the story, but he got his flute and he marched. He used his quote unquote magic to use his flute was basically his wand, apparently, like in terms of like the folklore, and he got all the kids in town to follow him, and then they all went into a cave or got like blindsided by like a landslide. They all died. Like all the kids died, and it was because that they were being led by the Pied Piper. Pied Piper, not Pod Piper. Pied Piper, and this story is old as fuck. This is the furthest back in time we've gotten here on planet-Pepe in terms of timelines in music. We're talking the 1200s in Germany. But that's where this story originated. Now, look, I don't think that he hypnotized the kids. I don't think, because again, that's like the quote unquote the magic thing about him, like the Merlin kind of like. There's a word for soft magic, and I'm blanking on it. I should have looked it up before I made this video. Fuck. But if I think of it, I'll say it. But I just think that, if the story is true, which it very well could be, again, it's a weird folklore type. Did it not happen? Like, was it myth, or was it kind of a true story based, and it just kind of went? It's like the myth grew over time, and hence the story changed and got more, unrealistic and theatrical. I don't know, but like I think it's possible that like if a guy is or a woman is that good at playing an instrument, which apparently he was, you could just kind of just start a parade, and of course you're gonna get like 6-year-olds to march along with you and be like woo, kind of thing. So I don't think it was like a it's not a seance, but like a hypnotism thing, which is what the folklore will have you believe. But I just think that it's possible that he like hey, we're starting a parade here, and of course a bunch of 7-year-olds are going to be into that, They're like, yeah, let's go, let's follow you, and then they all tragically died. And it's not funny, but it's apparently what happened. I don't know why I just laughed there. But anyway, yeah, Pied Piper, what do you think? Do you guys have any opinions? Do you know the story at all? Look into it, because again, this is just I'm just kind of skimming the surface here. There's a lot of weirdness to this story and to this guy called the Pied Piper, and his instrument, which apparently had magical abilities. Whatever. I don't think it's true, but I think the story could be true, based off the logic that I, gave. But yeah, all right. What's the word for? Not eclectic. There's like a word for like magic, but it's not magic. Like it's I always forget like one thing that I want to bring up, and I mean I guess it's not really that important to the story. It's just a word, but like yeah, like apparently he was kind of like a Merlin type character, and no one really knows if it's true or not, but it is kind of a weird story. It almost might be a little too weird to make up, and there was a plague at the time too around that, so I think it was in Melville, Germany or something like that, in like the 1200s. But so I don't know, maybe that was just a story to, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Again, my new subscribers, my OG subscribers, me and Stormcloud hanging out. Planet-Pepe, everyone. All right, bye.